he went for a rally, and then they shot a gun. Look, they plotted. There was almost 7 plots to kill Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Why? Because they started with the silent shots when Nkrumah led governments, and then he was on his way from the Flagstaff House. Even when the president, a sitting president, died, Amanfo Bosi, people were happy. Yes, when Professor Mills died, people were happy. Amanfo Bosi, people were on the street jubilating. When look, this our heroes, the helicopter crash, people were happy.
National tragedy.
Yes, people were happy because they felt that it was a political party. And Nkrumah, forgetting said the minister and then the people were going to do something in the name of Ghana. Not in the name of a political party.
Defense minister, yes. But then defense minister for NDC.
And I say minister of state, not minister of NDC. Me catch almost said they should let MPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bahomia, and then Nkrumah and NTS say without Ken they can't win elections.
And a vibrant birthday. And when you're 25 years. Happy birthday to vibrant lady. And the age in minim say no cra na say no credit. And no dear mean to me enchre. Nanso no. And then I would idea minim say if reaching a call mubedi ede amano. San say vibrant birthday dear edru dear not just what you say. I was say yetimi ehwe na ye ka ehon asem nyame boa celebration de ye nyina ambassador TV team no ebia ye bepe Friday na ye nyina ye di no saa ne ye no nti ene de na woda de wo ma ne bia na no betimi e de ama no but the entire team no ye nyina betena se edidi on Friday na say Friday wo kuma se wona say akwantu say ye pa okra ye hu enti vibrant birthday enti na oba no subscribe no like no wish no happy birthday to vibrant ababa wa no oye good eba history me ankasa I am learning a lot from vibrant bo na me yen interview we na me kofie na mete ho a mo mfa ncha ye I think say a video I posted back na obi frame say sound no mo mfa ncha ye na de enema ba community bi na antoyi ena de ya ba no ojaso enema be na ekoso ene 24th nti na ede ya ibewura mu ewo Kwame Nkrumah history kakra bura ye 2 no ehon hyehyɛ sanse adaye 2 Kwame Nkrumah no said day na mu ana sad date na mu ana vibrant so ne maame echem no edne to asase su nti na ye bewura mu kakra na ye di ehon so enkomo na enema bi a ekoso no yetimi aka eho asem ye behwe national issues ba komienu miensa bi na eno so yetimi ede ewura mu na nyame boa Friday yetena se a vibrant birthday no ye di ede amano vibrant let's say
nyame adom me way
o birthday na ekosen
it's a mixed feelings. Yes, I'm happy today. It's my birthday, though. But
yeah,
on say Drew say now was Akai, the man who stood for Ghana, who worked together with his colleagues to make sure that Ghana gets a better place. And now, for Fian to water and you are bonifobi, it means as a ball pop because it is not from them, then it is no good. Motimi connive here with the CIA. Together with you can say black man, not just a black man but Ghanaians, and then they stage a war somewhere and then Nkrumah had to leave over here. You say your friend in front of and say two a day, and then they sent Ghana back to, should I say, colonization, mental colonization of what or what. So when it gets to that day, in fact, it's a day.
Wow. Na oma me na ono de o se omuni din kire me no. Was wo hwe video ba ko bi. Na ye se your birthday nti me wo ha na o send bibi ba ye se an area me mfa ma na efa to Tofibi na oso monidin o ma ya me penidin pode a saving number no because phone we no number na go screen so no on say me hwehwe kra me hu message ya eba a day no
ghost mommy
chese nti me hwehwe na minim say ohwe video ya den ya obe chat me and obi obe send bibia babia me person be saving din say na be ya da ye be hia no metimi akire mu aboni pakro din do pese ebo ni din no na yabo ni din but before be wura mu won Nkrumah sense mo no yemfa ya konsem ma gold ball CEO
yes
Sammy Gyamfi na ase eno na IGP ba Ashanti region be press conference na chese omochi nipa miensa na emi wanwa se Sammy Gyamfi ase pabonifo bi akobo ni tuo na ye obi de
Makojo, this is Ghana we are. You get it? So always I say you see, even when a sitting president died, for Bosi, people were happy. Yes, I when Professor Mills died, people were happy. For Bosi, people were on the street jubilating. When look, this our heroes, the helicopter crash, people were happy.
National tragedy.
Yes. People were happy because they felt that it was a political party. Forgetting said the minister and then the people were going to do something in the name of Ghana. Not in the name of a political party.
Defense minister, but then defense minister for NDC.
And say minister of state, not minister of NDC. So when you were happy, the pilot, the flyer, and the three that were together were they political people. When they overthrew Nkrumah, people were happy, so it's bound to happen. And then we always get a particular group of people who do that. But I will not always be afraid because I am MPP4. We saw Amadeku. I remember doing something.
Amadeku,
when this thing happened, she was happy. Say NDC for nyaya sem no musu aboa yan. And this time I say esuna omusu yen ka omubenya ka state nimpe bucket. Ye de obi ani so oguma na yeyi amade de ama no. That is what I felt. So eyomusuban from history upon history, that is their lifestyle. Even when their own died, you can say when
Nkrumah.
Not Nkrumah. The other one, Nkrumah.
Yeah.
They went there and then Omude and Nkrumah Wadampaso. They were using that to campaign. So it is their lifestyle. That is how they were born. That is how the political party was born. That is the basis of the political party. They don't have vision. They don't have anything to offer. What they can do is emotional politics, propaganda politics, and then politics of lies. So that is the
because the emotional politics and the propaganda politics. I know some say just in Kodia about Ashanti region or your radio tour, and I walk at Baumia supporters and say if you feel say Baumia I win primaries, we win automatically obey my president Awubua. They need them Nkrumah. So if say we say Kennedy support the people of Fua, wona victory about side you don't need to fight any panel. Na mbi say nenya de na motina ma BBC ansa e mo obi bufu ansa na obe calm down.
They know what they are doing, Bakojo. Omuni.
Enti ye de na me ne sha ibudi nkomo. O say Kennedy or Kennedy deputy campaign coordinator wa Ashanti region. Was a Kennedy nim no kwa campaign maba o me ade o mbe di na atemko say Kennedy ne ho gi atenie. Was saying ho gi atenie. Nti sa na de and so omudi watema na de ache wo no ne wo makọ bom. Ti afa de ye ne aye wo team members ne ye ba be di watem bi say obi di watem pa na wo do no. Nti sa na
me ka kira o mo say they should let MPP Dr. Mahmoud Bahomia and then Nkrumah and Ntiase say without Ken they can't win elections.
What is
that? When can I say Honorable Alan Chamantin told them when his team told them that without us you can't win, did they win?
And almost say Alan we nyama bia.
Or the koya na wanfanko. Or the biko na wanfanko.
Or the biko or twin different.
So Kennedy so check what will be left in MPP. Skeleton. That is what we want to happen. Because Muntimi fa Kennedy and him be form. Because everything against Kennedy, he did it for the betterment of MPP. he started before you people or Mondina Temu.
Yeah.
So whatever kind of can I say honorable Kennedy Japan went through, say a din at them, send me this bobo no, send me car say Kennedy ABC. It was for the betterment of NPP because anytime be a Becca Kennedy asem, yeah, the better NPP. What I say. So honorable Kennedy Japan should let these people know that or no su ye nipa or wakoma or moja. So he shouldn't go back to them.
And yeah, say Ken or Kwana or Ba. Vibrant and 24th. And oh yes, you be remu or Sajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Nitua you too no. But before that, no, say Kotoka International Airport. Ababeye Accra International Airport.
Exactly.
And no oma change edino. They say
officially.
Adebia ya okoya na ye Kotoka International Airport no. Free and ya changes in the best starting. People are asking, say, is it?
It's necessary.
Is it even
it's
necessary?
It's necessary, papa, because to me, embe tutu, enku a general in front of his family members, and tutu for the sake of nipa na opa mani ye. Untimi me tutu entu na umpese yemfa udi entu adia the same man na ututu etu no the same man built it. And you know, it's very necessary. Me say ye pese tie Kotoka asema. Ye mfa nko pay ye kan say Nkrumah museum e chire obebi na ye mfa nto.
Oh, there.
Ye kwa definitely somebody will ask. Yesterday you see our video I posted about the Nkrumah's I just the video I just posted yesterday now.
Okay, yeah.
I went to the Nkrumah museum. When you get there, when we get na nipa 4. You do na obi say na rahi na Nkrumah pictures the brebe and the buofu say. So that was what triggered me to tell the story.
Nkrumah pictures and the buofu.
The one, yes, this particular one.
Okay.
You see that there's a whole lot.
Yeah.
So when we enter into the history, we'll bring that. Wow.
Until they say the officially no or more a change no na amanfo bisa questions. Me and no me hear na say a very vibrant the pair. Na on the obehwiri. And yemram ye de nam hen.
We are going to start from who is Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, how he went about his work, and how he was overthrown. So somebody will ask, who was Dr. Kwame Nkrumah? I'm going in a little because I say can't be about him. I swear, we can't contain. Now, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was a young man, was a Ghanaian like myself, was an African like myself, who was born in Nkrumah, and then nurtured. He was echo in the school scene, and then you know it was colonization time, and Nkrumah was somebody. He was very brilliant, very brilliant, and then at a point in time he got a scholarship outside, and when he got the scholarship outside, in fact, Nkrumah na should I say pre-ship, not this course. So Roman father.
Yes. So
he got a scholarship to go outside, and when he went out, he went and then met Marcus Garvey, then co. And Nkrumah got to a point whereby it was go back to your country. They were like trying to get the Africans back to their country.
Okay.
So it was an uprising time. And then idea abrofo because of the colonization, no musisi can't say before no. So the Marcus Garvey and then Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, they were the people who stood and fought, almost say Pan-Africanism. Africa must unite. That was what Nkrumah was fighting for. And then in all that, he was also learning the radicalism from Marcus Garvey. Not radicalism in a way, say but to get things aggressively. Because if persuasion fails, force must be applied. So Nkrumah was part of the Pan-African team. He was part of the African Must Unite, and that is what they were fighting for. And back in Ghana, we had grants. We were being colonized by the by the British, and this is what happened. Pre-colonization era, on said the those who colonized us, no. Somebody asked, then almost sorry, pre-co move from Nkrumah to colonize Africa.
Okay.
They weren't coming to Africa.
Okay.
When colonization was started, they weren't coming here. They were going to Asia. But going to Asia, no, far Africa. So when they got to Africa, they found out that adekudinti ayeko Asia no ewo ha na yeko pe gold that time na ye nananom omunima adekro omuhu se e shine omu se boa e shine they didn't know what no more de bobo coastal nano. So when they were going to the Asia, they go to Africa and then they found the gold, they found the human resources. So they have to make a U-turn, say, oh, and the Asia there, and then you see, there's always history that's sugar because we didn't know what that was. They start taking our distant gold and then the human resources. To an extent, to say, they found us, oh, the African body is more stronger than even they themselves and than the Asian nanomokon. So they started capitalizing on some of the ignorances and then started capitalizing on their ability to colonize. And then they stayed in Africa. And in the course of that, when they came, they were in Ghana, they were at the coastal sides because and because they were also trading, they started no musisi Africans no. So that was when Pa Grant, who was a merchant, said Dabi. Nkrumah wo musisi yen. Ade ne yen dia. And ade no so I am a trader. They are also traders. But se taxes eba yen bibi fo no tua bebre chen omo. And opportunity ba nam so mo ya brofo no. Omo the opportunities ni ma omo ankasa dia kala. Let me also do something just like the Nkrumah was doing. Let me also do something which will also be a fight for the Africans or a fight for Ghanaians.
Okay.
A bit protecting the Ghanaian merchants. So UGCC or Kreti was to fight for merchants. You get it? And yet Ghana, he was not going in for the whole like everything in general. He was going for the merchants. No, at the top of one. So when he started, I've always said it over and over again that J.B. Dankwa was a lawyer. He was not a politician. And I'll always say that, go and then ask about the Achim killings. It will give you answers to how J.B. Dankwa became a politician.
Okay.
Or go to the internet. Sometimes it is, you go to the internet, the real story is not there. It's out. And then, when he did that, he now called J.B. Dankwa because J.B. Dankwa already had belonged to a movement called the Aborigines Act Right. And then that movement, they were fighting for Asase. They were protecting the lands. And then the lands, some of, you see, the Aborigines even belonged to the Aborigines because they said that we felt that what our own people were doing to your people were no good. So they were also part, but I never trust the white man. Because answer no better no him the onya through. And wherever JB Dankwa is, I can't trust that place.
Okay.
So when Pa Grant formed this, when he got the idea, he went to tell JB Dankwa. So the idea of UGCC was Pa Grant, not JB Dankwa. JB Dankwa so, oh, it's a good idea. Now, Aborigines is good. When you want to form the political party, mamenya de menkofa enipa ni bi mekai o say me kai time anam wa Aborigines Act Right na e bi before na Ghana fo bi wom e betimi de o maba and he went to bring some of the people from the Aborigines Act Right who have the ideology of let's fight for the coastal side. They were fighting for the coastal side though. They were not even including Kumasi because Kumasi Nipo.
Okay.
They were not including North because North Yenipo. They were fighting for the coastal side. Now the coastal side consisted of the Accra, the Cape Coast, those yes, those enclaves. Now at the end of the day, they came and then they formed the party, which J.B. Dankwa played a big role in it. As time goes on, they invited Dr. Kwame Nkrumah to become the secretary of the party. And let me clear one thing. MPP, UGCC, MPP currently. So omo kwahye dem na say ya omo ka omo bakosem kire omo nkola na. Omo ka kire omo say JB Dankwa ne kofa Nkrumah bae, which is a big lie. It was Akweje who recommended JB Dankwa. Who recommended Dr. Kwame Nkrumah say he know about a young man abroad who is part of Pan-Africanism. So let's bring him. So they had to write to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And then when he got the letter, he was happy because it was his country, to Ampupunity. And then he came all the way down to Yekane saying Ghana. And then I've forgotten the amount of money they were supposed to pay him for the job as a secretary. And when he came, in fact, he realized that in the course of the work, he realized that these people were not working for the whole of Ghana. They were concentrating on a particular group of people, and then it was for the coastal side.
Yes, their personal interest.
Yes, so as he was touring, he came to Kumasi, and then he met this chief. Oh, he didn't at
Prempe.
And then he explained to Prempe that, see, this and this and this is what I have found out. And Dr. Can say, or any Prempe can say, do what you feel is right. Do what you feel is. I don't want to enter more there to bring tribal issues.
Yeah.
So let me just cut it. He told him, do well to bring what you feel can help Ghana. Because he explained the thing to him that, look, Ohene, me wure mono, and yes, I net you. So Ohene didn't debunk because you are in there. Yeah. So do what will favor Ghanaians. So Kwame Nkrumah started working. And you see, when UGCC was there as an entity, it was not including all Ghanaians. It was a handful. The people who made up of UGCC were elites. A handful. A lawyer for, teacher Nkrumah, you are low. Judge for, and then people omunimidi, omukurankrata.
Okay.
Se unkurankrata, you can't do. And then se when you're 35 years, you cannot take government decisions. And at 35 numpunu, se wouldn't need Japadi be one same, you can't do it.
Okay.
But when Kwame Nkrumah came and he saw that, and he realized that no, if we say we are going to be self-centered, MY, so within a year, now Dr. Kwame Nkrumah had opened about 500 branches across the nation for the UGCC.
Okay.
Now for the Oko Norfa, there was a branch. Oko Voter, there was a branch. Just say, what be offices will be here. And these people sat back and realized that, now Papa, we are there. Yes, because Esra Sema, JB Dankwa Edward de Kufu, Omobekan were meeting us.
Okay.
And Esra Sema or Kachra Brofon, they were selling themselves out. And then that is the reason why they didn't want to involve Ghanaians. And the Dr. Kwame Nkrumah says, so prefer who dear the more minor, and your minor crop one and your wedding, so that is why he also involved Ghanaians. So they started hating Dr. Kwame Nkrumah because he was involving myself, he was involving your father, he was involving your mother. Just like when His Excellency John Dramani Mahama was going to IMF, he consulted Ghanaians.
Yeah.
When he was consulting Ghanaians, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and then Akufo-Addo were in schools and they were debunking everything John Mahama was doing. These were the people. So anytime I give you an instance, I'll relate it to a political history. Now, one funny thing is that after all these things, anytime they go for a sitting, anytime I'm say a meeting after a party, Per Grant so handedly pay everybody in the meeting except Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And Dr. Kwame Nkrumah didn't take money because, no, he's doing this for Ghana, for Africa. And say okwa him for no honum. Na so if you go out on his normal tour, ahemfo no are very cordial with him. Your man eduane, your man kakra, he's okay with that. Inti scan on mutuan on GB. You can go and check anywhere. Say Nkrumah Jessica or meeting Biase. He never took money. Now, these people started hating Nkrumah for being loved by the people because after the night Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And it got to a point in the 28th February 1948. Yes, it's 28th February. If I get the 28th February wrong, you can correct me. But it was 1948. There was a riot. And the riot in Tawantawa Kakrebi SASCA. The issue was when the Second World War, these people, the whites, came to Ghana, like the African countries, and then it was African men that they sent out to go and fight. But omo kachira omo say wutimi ko na se mo kosan ba asumdue mu a, we have ABC ayede be mamo. Ebia ye beto dan amamo. E be mamo saying every month. Just like when we were going to election 2016, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia Honorable can say Williams, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Williams Ekufuado. Kachire ye say moto abane maya ye bema mu nsuanom. We'll arrest the dollar. We are going to make sure every constituency gets 1 million.
Yeah, $1 million per constituency project.
Fine. After the omoko war ne ba ya sikana emma, even to address them and say thank you amma. And then the soldiers got angry. They started agitating. Just like when we got angry as Ghanaians, we started campaigning against MPP. Started telling them na moka chere se mo buy my ABC mo amaye enti yenche. So one day they decided to go stage a demonstration to the Christian Board Castle. And then when they were going along the way, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and then the UGC heard about it and they met them halfway. And Dr. Kwame Nkrumah said, look, now that you are going, where is a petition? Because you have to hand over something. So where is it? They were not having it. So Nkrumah said, look, as I'm standing here, I didn't know Sena Moko would have drafted something for you, but encourage Akweje Kunturuho. And then Akweje he bent. And a Dr. Kwame Nkrumah de paper and the pen. Muni na mo jena nyenchenyo. And the paper and the pen to Akweje chi. And not petition the man soldiers no. You cannot tell me that Edward Ekufu you didn't see what he wrote. You cannot tell me that Akweje you don't know what he write. You cannot tell me that JB Dankwa didn't know what he wrote. And now they gave them a strict warning. Say, Moko Drua, do not give the petition to anybody apart from the governor.
Okay.
So when they got there, they were halted. And then the security and I said, the soldiers in front, the police in front said they should give the petition to them, and they refused. So one of the commissioner asked a fellow Ghanaian police to shoot at his people, and he said no, he will not shoot. And but I've forgotten the name. And then he took the gun and then shot at the demonstrators, where 3 of our people fell. And then the 3 of them, when they fell, it became chaos everywhere in Accra. And then they started looting the abrofoshes because our people are just asking for something.
Yeah.
Why should you shoot them? They want to meet the governor. Let's just let them meet them. And you shot them. So it became something else. And Accra menya. They were looting the abrofo shops, just like when EndSARS happened in Accra, Nigeria. They started looting stores. It was the same thing. So at the end of the day, the governor became annoying, and then he was thinking, and why Nkrumah? Because for a very long time they never said anything, and yet then all of a sudden they started. And let me give you a reference. Just like when Ghanaians rise that Galamsey must stop, the MPP, who were the mess creators, were looking for a political party to blame. So the governor ended up blaming. And they said, they are a UGCC in Kwan, a political party organ, the same thing they did. They told us that it was the NDC. They went and arrested these people and arrested a 8-year-old. So when they came to a conclusion, say UGCC phone, they sent the leaders of UGCC and then interrogate them. So lucky for them and unlucky for the UGCC leaders, when they got to where they meet, that was Paragrant's house, they were having a meeting. So they took all of them. They were 6. They when you take our money, so for 6.
Yeah, the big 6.
They took them and then they carried them away. But unlucky, Paragrant was not around. He was in abroad for a mission. He wasn't there. So these 6 people, when they took them for interrogation's sake, they put them in different prisons.
Oh, same by Omuntimi
and communicating.
Yeah.
Dr. Kwame Nkrumah alone was sent to Laura, the Upper West, because they knew that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah there needs someone. So when they got there, they started inquiry. And because Nkrumah we are Tanasia Bopodada, say Nkrumah Yempenasem, all of them turned against Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Say, hey, Mosi ye, Mammy Yankas, I'm in Chiramu. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah na muhuni san onye o ye nipa but onye. Se Mosi ya bua, monko hwe ni nyomam. no friend the so-called comrade. No or say or a Pan-Africanist. No or say he wants independence now. No say abrofomuni subai yempe dear forgetting say Pa Grant wanted the same mission. Into more 5 Nina can asem to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So when they said, Nkrumah, look, your people said you are the person. And Nkrumah looked at them and said, fine. If they have putting the blame on me, I don't have a problem. I have accepted. But let me tell you people, I did not mean nimpose and Nkrofon, but I would have made it more radical than that.
Okay.
And then, just like when J.J. Rawlings, so Nkrumah took the blame. Just like when J.J. Rawlings, his first coup d'etat failed. They arrested him, he took the blame. You can see where we are coming from. Now they took Nkrumah, they sent him to prison, and then they released the rest. So you want to tell me, say, these 6 people now, the 5 of them, I should respect them. For what reason? And look, it was a media caption that gave them the name the Big Sis. Because when they were picking them, they were at a spot. And then the media caption was, the 6 people of the UGCC, the 6 men of UGCC have been arrested. And then another media caption was, the Big Sis has been arrested. And a photographer in La, who I've forgotten his name, a young boy was able to arrange that picture. He was able to arrange them in that order. So that was the media caption. Yes, that was the media caption, and then that was the picture. And then the picture started trending without the main sole financier of the party. And to one uncle here, Pa Grant, will you be okay? If we're able to start an association, I say, "Anya dinka karakase na mena me yi me sika triano me dini ma obe okay." But it's because it was a media caption, you can't say anything. And they rewrote history to tell us they were the people who fought for independence. They were looking for independence in the shortest possible time. But Nkrumah said, look, we want independence now. I can't say everywhere, but I can't say sorry. That is what Nkrumah was looking for. Now, after they came out from the cells, they went and sat in Salt Pond, headquarters. They started plotting against Nkrumah Seshe. Oba, free UGCC. Now already, Nkrumah had a standing block. Not in the next baby school, because they were creating the veranda. No, the veranda voice was for JJ. No, the veranda voice. He was having a backup team. Let me use that.
Yeah.
There was a veranda voice, but I'm confused. Was it for JJ Rawlings or it's for Nkrumah? So after he had this blog, when he came out from the prison, he went to his office, and they were like, Nkrumah, he just removed his resignation letter. Monje, this is what you want. I've already made my mind. Because when he was there, the youth were like, che, Nkrumah, we are with you. Ghanaians were with him. Ghanaians were ready for him. Ghanaians knew that he was the hope. Bedema and then the rest of the people said, look, Nkrumah is the hope for Ghana. Bedema knew that when Nkrumah comes and lead government issues, Ghana befan into my pay fra. Why didn't Bedema go to JB Dangwa? Why didn't you go to Akweje? Why didn't the Ghanaians go to them? Because they were more than Nkrumah. They will have it on other side say, "Yeah, the Nkrumah buyer say, because no or ye children." I don't know if you could do the job.
Yeah.
Come on, more sex and kabako bet my children. But because of your selfish interest, Muntimin Pia Bontin Koyejuma, Timokophobia free baby, abe kayayo. And Untina say, baby will be as a young pancas of a pejao. David in the Bible was a shepherd. They were people who were always in the house with their father, but God chose David. So that is how it is. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama was a running mate, or he was a vice president. We are not saying that the death of Rawlings, the death of Atamos was right, but it was the decision of God.
Yeah.
You get it? Now, when Nkrumah started this CPP, it started getting waves. It started gaining waves. And they said, hey, Papa na diyewo. So that is when, getting to the 1951 elections, they changed their UGCC name.
So Nkrumah kono ebe flop.
Yes, they thought it will flop. So that is what they are thinking. But when Nkrumah started getting, they said, "Hey, Papa, we so there or the Bibayo." That was when they plotted. There was a plot to kill Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. On his way from what was it? He went for a rally, and then they shot a gun. Look, they plotted. There was almost 7 plots to kill Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Why? Because they started with the silent shots when Nkrumah led governments, and then he was on his way from the Flagstaff House. Boom. They shot a silent gun about once. But lucky enough, a born in convoy. Nkrumah asked everybody not to even say it to the media. Because yes, I had to say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Nyame fast so one pass at this plane, helicopter, no woman. It would have caused tension.
Yeah.
Because Ghanaians love the man. So you see, say no. How people were praying, say, you. Not because they were happy it was somebody else. We wish to say now Obianim.
But Enyesi.
This is what Nkrumah didn't want. You see how people started saying, John Mahama, don't take any plane. Take your. You see, that is what Nkrumah didn't want. From there, Nkrumah came to a rally in Kumasi. And these people in the rally, they like Nipa who said this was the best chance to kill Kwame Nkrumah. Forgetting say sa ankana ebe kanipa. There was another this thing shot.
Yeah.
Which enya nipa Nkrumah enya no. And all this orchestration. Look, Kulungungu, he went to negotiate this Ekusomo Dama ede Ghana besi. When he was coming, omo the bomb e dia share flowers ekura akola. Man dwene akola no ho just because he wanted to kill Kwame Nkrumah. And then the bomb explode. Kwame Nkrumah reached there late and akola nenya na nsia na mama ni wuye. So you could see how they were plotting. And all this while no, they were people who were in CPPR. They were the same people who were giving information out. I am not mentioning a name, but let me give you an instance.
Okay.
Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, his father was part of CPP. That is why I'll always tell you see, and all this orchestration, no, every time Nkrumah escapes, every time he escaped death, this is what God was telling Nkrumah. Look within your security. I have kept saving you over and over for you to look within the security. So the same way His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, when these people know that they are far away from power, they cannot sit quiet. So His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, within your security, within the police, within the military, within the Flagstaff House, look within your security. Because history cannot always be repeating itself.
Yeah.
We are afraid that something may happen. So His Excellency John Dramani Mahama should look within his security because I know be or ben and they okay. So there should be this security that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama should look within. Look, I can tell you, say, maybe there are instances there was a threat on the president's John Mahama life, but he didn't make it public. There could be. I'm just saying. Because even to the extent that they poisoned Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's food. All, he said, Mayanka. It was when he was and those who witnessed it were now telling the story. Why should you do that? Because Nkrumah, look, now onye ni patentin bia o. He was a smallish man. Yes. And that is what they just hated. Do you know that when you are coming from Ejuso to, you can say, what's the name? Railways. There's a school, Queen Elizabeth School. And there's a statue. Once a school be a statue, be seen.
Yeah.
That spot, there was a gathering. Some people plotted to throw a bomb. But because Yewura Prempeh was coming there, they said that our own is also coming. Say Yatua, Enya Nkrumah Benyano. Even Krampo say Enya Nkrumah Krampo na betimi anya ono because he will be in the gathering. So they put a stop to that. Why should it be so? Why do you always want to feel like if it is not you, it shouldn't be anybody?
Yeah.
So yeah, these people change their name to NLM. They change their name to UP. They change to everything. 1951, we had election. Nkrumah won, hands down. I must say, hey, Papa, where's your bio? By then, they've changed their names, I think 2 times. Papa, where do you bio? They did him. when Ghana became independent, but said that time not still now we're not officially independent. Now Gyamfi. Now it was now left onto the Queen Mother. Nkrumah won the elections when he was in jail, 1951. And then how he won the elections was marvelous. Bedema, he saw these UGCC people. He didn't mind them.
Okay.
Because he know that when you go into the real issue, it is Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. That is why I always say that I will never sit anywhere and say Nkrumah was the sole person who won independence. Never. Bedema was there. When he was declaring independence, there's people behind him were the real big five or big six we should be talking about. They were the real heroes who stood with him in the fight. UGCC, they were out of the game. They betrayed the cause. You get it? Now, in prison, Bedema will go to prison, visit Nkrumah, and come out with a cheat. In say, a paper of his message to his people. Okay. That is how Bedema and Nkrumah communicated. Nkrumah communicated from prison through Bedema. And then, how he was doing it was amazing. Toilet papers. That was where Nkrumah was writing his messages. And it marvels me how Bedema is always able to pick that one out and then go and read. Yes, our man is in prison, but this is his message. And then they bought into the message. Just like when His Excellency John Dramani Mahama accepted that I am coming back again. How Ghanaians, not even JM himself, how Ghanaians stood on their grounds. Go to John Mahama, told him that give us your message. We will take it out there. We stood firm. We made sure that we sent every message of John Mahama across. We sent every message of the NDC across nation. And we were able to suppress MPP at the long run. That was how Bedema and then his people were able to bring the message of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and then suppress the message of the UP. Okay. Suppress the message of the NLM. This is what happened. Now, he won the elections. They had no option than to release him from prison because he has now become the prime minister. Now, when Nkrumah was the prime minister, things did not stop. When he was going to Akusombo, almost was Sika. When Congo, which is a South Africa, which is another African country, needed help, Nkrumah offered money. Almost say Nkrumah say Yesika. Now we wanted our independence. J.B. Dankwa was writing letters to the Queen Mother. I think I sent you that picture.
Yeah.
J.B. Dankwa was writing letter to the Queen Mother not to give independence to Ghana because Dr. Kwame Nkrumah is immatured. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah cannot handle affairs. But in all, no, truth won. They gave us our independence, 1957. And then in 1960, Nkrumah became the first president of Ghana. We thought when Nkrumah becomes the president, Nyoma Besesa, almost say Henneha, Nyaye, and Nyoma Sesa da in the Flagstaff House. Constable Ametewe, who was just deployed to the place as a security personnel for just 2 weeks. Nkrumah came for a lunch in the Flagstaff House. That's the presidential house. They always say Flagstaff House, find the presidential house. Nkrumah went there for lunch.
Okay.
In one afternoon. And when he got there, yes, he was wearing a bulletproof because you can't trust the people around Nkrumah. Now, he was in there, he was just walking in the inner court of the presidential house. All of a sudden, Constable Ametewe shot a gun. And Kenya Salifu Dagati, ya mepacho ya monkorete, ye nuye payini Captain Smart say, e dini nye Seidu Dagati, e ye Salifu Dagati. He said it first one, which I thought it was a mistake. He said it again, 3 times. It's not a mistake. It means he doesn't know.
Okay.
Timunkanchireni say, the name is not Seidu Dagati, the name is Salifu Dagati. He was the one, when the gun, he saw, say, Akwana clocking a gun. He's ran to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and then pushed Dr. Kwame Nkrumah away and then took the bullet. Because in as much as Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was wearing a bulletproof, no, a canitia ebeko. So a tuon enya Salifu Dagati niti, and then he fell on the ground. And Nkrumah realized his life was in danger. Nkrumah had to run from the forecourt of the presidential house to the kitchen. Ametewe chased him to the kitchen because he was assigned to kill the man. And then when he got to the kitchen, that is when Nkrumah said, Nkrumah had to box with him. Yes. And then he disarmed him. See, the man Nkrumah was just not a man. He was a man walking with the gods of our land. He was a man who, not a Christian, not a Muslim, he was walking with the gods of our land.
Okay.
He can just go to the sea, sit down, start talking, because he know that the gods of our land understand our language. Nkrumah did not hide his religion. Anytime, even to board a plane, he pours libation. And pouring libation, he says, in Kane Nyame, Wudie Nie. And Nkrumah, yes, and Nkrumah speaks faster. And they capitalize of, instead of him saying in Kane Tete Nyame, he say in Kane Nyame. They capitalize of in Kane Nyame. And then Nkrumah had a friend who was the president of Guinea, Sakature.
Okay.
And then there was a town there called Kanka. That's where anytime he goes to Guinea, he goes. They capitalize on in Kane Nyame, capitalize on Kanka, and then said Nkrumah Kofa Bibi a friend Kanken Nyame. Yeah. This is MPP. This is what we know them for. Now, they started, when Nkrumah was getting to the independence, they were even still writing, say, Yemfa Queen Madaniti Enfant to acquaintance so and ye be independence on the best that's what the. Why should we do that? It was JB Dankwa who was proposing, say, Yemfa or humanity and humanity infant to acquaintance so. Now, fast forward, we've gained our independence, so let's take it from Gold Coast to a different name. They were name suggestions. Anybody who stands in Ghana, any land, anywhere, anytime, no catch the Ghana for say, a JB Dankwa ne kasi enfre Ghana is a big lie, obwa, and I'll prove him wrong. When we were looking for name to give Gold Coast, JB Dankwa said, let's give Gold Coast Akan land.
Yeah, they're not last now.
Yes, Metuomi Akani, me friend you. Me can't go run it. Ya obongo for, ya wa amuna for. So the name should be Ghana, which was taken from the old Ghana Empire. So we ended up on the name Ghana.
Okay.
Yeah, for Akan land be boyable. Now Nkrumah became the president, made his what's the name? His years developmental project. These people were still not happy. Yeah, they be na obakofo enam American embassy no obakofo no the information say no letters no yes say then UGCC what NLM ade ba bonipa na Dr. Kwame Nkrumah yemu a mum pese mo beti access o mo mining konkan within 6 years Dr. Kwame Nkrumah has built we constructed tema port we constructed you can say Kwame Nkrumah science and technology. He has constructed a whole lot. The meat factory, the rice production. He has done the glass factory. He has done the kind of say matches factory. He has done a whole lot. Shoe factory. Mention them.
Yeah.
In less than 10 years. No, yes, I did. Now on the 24th February, on the 22nd February, they started with assembly of Vietnam. Na Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, una woyo nipa bia woye Ghana nia na woye Africa nia utimi eka nipa kuma eto omoye. Yes, it was true. The bia His Excellency Dr. Kwame Nkrumah beko bia se ento kwa ne wo
okasa na asumdwiaba.
That is why we see that reflection in His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Anytime, even in opposition, he the president, the ruling party, the president and the vice, omo kasa na Ghana for bofu. It takes the opposition leader, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, to speak to Ghanaians and calm nerves down. I remember how Ghanaians were agitating. It was His Excellency John Dramani Mahama who gave us a speech, Ghana at Crossroad, and it calmed nerves down. Yes. When Nkrumah was the president, they were writing letters. They were gossiping here and there. Just like 2013, 14, 15, 16, when John Dramani Mahama was president, NPP, they were all over. And Nkrumah, they were lying to Ghanaians. Mahama is Sifie or Dubai, and so Mahama son confirm not to. These were the stories they were saying.
Yeah.
When Nkrumah became president, look, these people will secretly go to the universities looking for send nipa ba akokrampon kasem against Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. They will never get. Just like the way they were hell-bent in getting a scandal on the president. They ended up saying Airbus. They threw it in the system, knowing very well Somobwa. They bought it. And then even
Airbus scandal.
Yes, they even went to bring somebody they felt to say he was an enemy to the president in Obebuama Mayachi president. That was Martin Hamidu.
Yeah.
But when he came into the game, he realized that he also decided not to do this evil job for them. Now, after they did all these things, on the 22nd of February, Nkrumah have to leave and then go to Vietnam. When he was going, he passed Egypt, Hanoi. They warned him, but he believed Harley was there. His commander-in-chief. No, was it the police here? The IGP? No, it's not. The Banana and IGP. It was something Inspector Harley. Oh, he was there. I trust him, not knowing that the Harley that hacked him to leave the country, the Harley that protected him to leave the country, was the same person who sold him out. Just like we all knew very well. So, oh, NDCD, we have people who could do the job, not knowing that. There are people in there who didn't want the John Mahama administration to progress. It cut across everywhere. There were people in Ghana who didn't want John Mahama to progress. His core competitors didn't want him to progress. Look at what Bawumia was doing. He was saying a whole lot of figures, or the figures may be too, if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate, unnecessary things. Now, on the 24th, when Nkrumah left, this year they started plotting 22nd, 23rd, and on the 24th, they were able to occupy the presidential house.
Yeah.
And Nkrumah's wife, Sammy, and then the rest have to flee. His wife, Fatia Nkrumah, and the children, they had to flee from Ghana. They've been able to overthrow him. And then they called his ally to tell him that, Wabenu, you tunu, to catch that. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah said, you tuna benu, maninsiha. Thinking that they've done the best thing. And this is what Ghanaians were also jubilating about.
Yeah, because the way now Ochim said Ghana for Don Nkrumah Jina Nechi. Why say Drew Baby so no? Now they were happy when Nkrumah was not there. 2013,
14, 15. When Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia came out to tell us that dollar no, your turn of 3 cedis 70 pesos. It is the West. Petrol, your turn of 4 cedis, 5 cedis. It is the West. Me de me ba. Member dollar na ye 1 cedi. Me de me ba. Member petrol ye 1 cedi. Me de me ba. Me make sure say constituency bia ye be man bibi. Me make sure say one village, one dam to boost farmers. Me make sure say one district, one factory to boost industrialization. Me make sure say I'm not going to tax Ghana. I'll bring productivity. Even though he knew what John Mahama was doing was right, but they capitalized on certain things. That was the same thing they did to Nkrumah. Even though they knew Nkrumah was on the right track, they made the Ghanaian feel like, we will do it more better than Kwame Nkrumah. So Ghanaians were ignorant. And then at the time now there was no internet to debunk whatever they would say. And then those who were so much religious conscious bought the idea of the Kankanyam. So they overthrew Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And then when Nkrumah got the news, he wrote in his book that when he got the news, he was down. He didn't know what to do. And then Prekope, like he just felt some waves. And then he spoke with one of 2 people that the delegation he sent. Some of them had already omapaba because atia ya pana Ghana for nasi ya tuya there's not this jubilation is going on. And that is when he said, fine, I wouldn't go back Not because Nkrumah was afraid of NLCO.
Okay.
The national, he wasn't afraid of them. But when he comes back, the people who loved him will stand up against the people who overthrew him. Just like when 2020, they stole the elections. The NDC, the Ghanaians agitated that John Mahama found 90 from NOC. Sammy, yes, sir. Ghana be brutal.
Yeah.
Into mumanya de yen janesa. Nyame wo ho, things will get better. Ghanaians will call for me. So Nkrumah said, let me not go there and let the country turn upside down. At the right time, Ghanaians will realize, say, this and this that they did, because he don't trust them. They can do anything. Ghanaians will realize that whatever they did was the wrong thing. So Nkrumah said, I don't want to go far from my country. I don't want to go back to my country, so I can just lurk around. And then he ended up at Guinea. And then in Guinea, when he got there, Sakature said, hey, what about there? Remember, my co-person. Me sorry ma konya so. No betena so. Na wa guide me. Na wa kire yen krofo ne say Ghana fo mpewa ye de na Nkrumah say no. Me free me krom e metu ohene ade so ntin I'll be your co-president. And then Nkrumah was a co-president to him. And then
you kunya dan Nkrumah residence in Guinea no.
And from Conakry he wrote a book which was called A Cry from Conakry. And in that book he told Ghanaians say Ghana for I have seen everything. Mabamabu, like yes, Mabamabu, but I am hurt. Not only by my overthrow, by how you are rejoicing. But emerani drua mobe kaime asere. Someone kaime asere mobe kaime yesu. They sat there and told Ghanaians that Nkrumah bogana dria. You see them?
Na say we are the papa so bold ya inyawo.
They went into wherever Nkrumah went. Ni book na tadie. They brought everything together no paje tum no mo Yemma anything of Nkrumah remain. At a point in time, they set up committee upon committee. And Nkrumah mami ana wedi 84 years. Kwatwe mami ne deshe che free ni dem. Etwe mami ne to form committee upon committee. The mami no just prove say Nkrumah nya ne yemu ba. And mami say hwe. My child me ba mean to me enkasa onya me ba da. Whatever you do to me oya me ba ne oya me ba china. Now we go to a point Ghanaians started agitating. Na mokura mpone denti na motu Kwame Nkrumah. Because ye hunu so. Motu Kwame Nkrumah we na motama oman no 1966 ko share IMF nsem said they no mo peno no. Na IMF je na mo detect Ghana. So any of these MPP small boys and girls who don't know when IMF started when their forefathers National Liberation Council overthrew Kwame Nkrumah and then took the country and handed it over to the white. Say mumbuya maye ye nim. They finished and they went to Bolga. The meat factory, they killed all the animals and partied. Just how they ended up passing e-levy in parliament. They brought cake. No mo dey be cake there you be birthday no mudi. That is them. Just like how when His Excellency John Dramani Mahama was leaving power, he left what we call ESLA. Omo bae no, omo disease no, omodi. He left Get Fund, omodi. He left so many sika, omodi. That is them. They are hell-bent in sharing money. When COVID-19 came, World Bank gave us money. Internally, we generated omodi scan. Mumbai account amosi yedi matem. That is MPP. Now, Nkrumah was there, and Fofian Tuata, Ofrim. And Guinea president said, look, me mfa body name Magana of one net, me mfa mamo china, because me share adia modia papa, even when he was alive, I didn't know what I made mom. So the family went to beg him, say, oh, yeah, this shit. So, Nebushia, on to me, and all the funny at the moment, they brought it to Nkrumah. And in Nkrumah, they didn't bury him. In Nkrumah, they put him in a metal casket, and then they opened it. So it was a tourist attraction for people. Okobiana, Kwame Nkrumah body said them. Until J.J. Rawlings said, no, the man is a statesman. Let's give him a state burial. And at the end, J.J. Rawlings brought Kwame Nkrumah all the way to Nkrumah. Okosere ne busia for some mayensie no na ne kra ntimi na. And or then a bar, you can say Nkrumah Museum. And then they created that for His Excellency Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. and check and an area for Fatia Nkrumah wu nti Fatia when she was dying or say me wu a monsie mo baby a me kuno. So when you go to the museum you see Nkrumah's body and then the wife is in front, so they are at the same place. Now Ghanaians started agitating, say why did we overthrow him? They started the story of King Gyamfi, which was not true. Monko be a bungalow number 5 now mo say Nkrumah body need them and so my no say dey need them mo say monye. Mo say nipa ne de bosom aba. Monko be am na yanhwa mo say monye. Enti yanya mo den. His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia wo say John Mahama wi ade. Mo say John Mahama di bone. Monfa prove mra mo say monfa ma wo de de aba. Palugu dam we disika. God for oil we disika. Mo say John Mahama disika what me share MPP no say John Mahama dey sika na mo be. Kire ya wo say won kire yan. Give us proof that John Mahama has stolen money. You say you won't do. You don't have proof. Tell us, give us proof that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah de bosom be shared them bungalow number 5 Mosemonye. This is the political party we are dealing with in Ghana. They are the same people. From National Liberation Council, from NLM, from NLC for UP, PFP to MPP. They are the same people. So Rakojo, how do I sit down as a youth to say me tuma ba ma MPP? Now 2020 we went in elections, they stole the election. Now Jemensa tell us the figure just can I say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia na Akufo-Addo do win elections or dabi. Brakot bejina da kem na kire kwan mo fast win elections or dabi wonye. Why is it that they are always dabi minye? Today we are suffering as a country because when His Excellency John Dramani Mahama came and then was able to arrange things, these people came and now another time again, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and Ghanaians, we've given the President His Excellency John Dramani Mahama another chance, and he has come. Dollar now they call 16 to 17. He has brought the dollar back to 10. Petrol they call 17. He has brought it back to 10. Nyoma mo ye ne basa energy sector mo say bibia, education mo say bibia. Just say you destroyed everything. The man is back and he's able to bring things back. You say me meto abama MPP. So this is the story of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
Say I think history there omo masua de no asua de but sometimes na man for fraud last week cause it na me hu so obi ne wa kira car so den o se wa koka history bi a se fa ni nipa bi hu se fa ho na wo de me man wo zito sa ne man ya ne ba na den.
You see, when they overthrew Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, they rewrote the history.
Okay.
The former Speaker of Parliament, the Right Honorable Marco Kwe Senior, Edu Buahe, they were those who sat in the room and rewrote our history. So when you go into Yankwala books, they tell you that JB Dankwa proposed the name Ghana, which is a lie. So it is time we rewrite our history because MPP is going to stay in opposition for a very long time. So before they come to power in the next 50 years, let's sit down and rewrite our history and tell the young ones that this is the history of Ghana, so that it will sink in their head. That is what we are supposed to do.
Wow. Vibrant, Yamfa last message mrana yamfancy. I think and ya more history full 1 hour. Minim say omani beje ho pa. Nti yamfa last message mrana yamfa ene de ni sinaja birthday girl. Kope ba bi dana wo maame ne de no so no onsa be kana chese. Ene wa kope tofi bi atafere ho na nyamboa Friday. Minim say edom no de support ahodo beba ma Friday. Vibrant, last message. My
last message is this history that I've just recited. I know Obi to Honoma, the person will get teary just like myself. Obi to her because I'm afraid with this saying it's not about my age.
Okay.
It's about the history. Whatever I'm doing, the youth can do better than me. And that does not mean I'm trying to say the youth are no intelligence.
Okay.
Sanity. Obi wo honma onima bakosem ni nimu cheme, but we've not found that person yet. If you are watching me, not feel say you know the history just like I am saying it. Our arms are open.
Yeah.
If I make a mistake, you are there to correct. But my MPP ni me jina hon kan kire me say me din fie saying because obunim so omo abakosema, they should come in public and narrate their history for us to listen.
Platform no.
They should tell us.
Yeah.
So Rakoja say the young youth that get the opportunity, let's rewrite our history and bring the real history of Ghana for it to stay.
And now you know what that nti ye be jai vibrant amana kwa akopda na waje na home ene de unya sugar daddy bianca odi opie
Kevin says sugar daddy for money subayo
unya old man bia keja ko odi opie ba me say den ya amafu bebre na edu be pie nti no ye the vibrant be si ha na me bo chi na yesa ni be hia this week the gina musa akopem say week no ebe end you project ahodo nso
say yes ahodo we'll be visiting the what's the name, the Elmina Castle.
Yeah.
Going,
so your project fire was nti you be na ya tuni nyina ho na mo ha na be me akwa me de dwumadie no esi